Let's talk about the Twitter hacks that happened on July 15th. The world saw bogus tweets being sent from the accounts of Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Kanye West, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and Elon Musk. Hackers exploited the trust model of Twitter's centralized systems and offered to double anyone's BTC if they were willing to send some to an address. We discussed the Twitter attack at the Roundtable. In my opinion, it looks like some kind of a 0 day, and or somebody bought creds from a Twitter dev. That's what I think are the two plausible ways that this has gone down. But I think like 50 accounts now, major accounts for Elon Musk and some of the major Bitcoin exchanges and all of that. Last I checked, they had raised about $140,000 worth of BTC inside of a few hours.
Which is higher than the bounties for disclosing bugs on Twitter, by the way.
Yeah.
Interesting dynamic there.
There you go. So does Bitcoin solve this problem? Yeah. We talk about Bitcoin social media. How do we stop these 0 day exploits and stuff? Luke, sounds like you got a whole bunch of ideas.
I was thinking about this yesterday, and it's like, well, I mean, this is something that Jeff's project, would be ideal for, right? So say, okay, you have MB domain, you have your domain registered on the blockchain, you have a browser that when you put in that thing, it's going to route. But it's going to get the data from the blockchain as well, the actual website information that renders. Sure, it goes out and calls to APIs and everything else. But the interesting stuff here is a browser can validate signatures on the individual data level. So if somebody makes a comment on a social media site, the browser could actually be checking like the AIP signature on your comment to validate it. And if it's not valid, surface a warning just like it does with SSL. If you went to a website, you had the big red bar across the top, you're not going to buy anything. If you went to a tweet and the browser's flipping out, you're not going to send any BTC. Or maybe you will. Some people still will, just like they still do it with SSL. You know what I mean? It's going to happen. But it definitely can provide solutions here.
The other thing, too, is you can imagine, right now, the problem of like certificate authority is relegated to some central service that you may not even have control over. So could you imagine maybe a scenario where Twitter has what ultimately is like a kill switch, where it's clearly something is compromised, but they can make a Bitcoin transaction because they don't need to rely on maybe something that's already compromised. They can use the Bitcoin network to implement some kind of, I've now made this, I've spent this UTXO. This is no longer valid for other people to use. And you might be able to stop a hack a lot easier as well. If I'm speaking a little broadly there, but not having to rely on your own server, which might be compromised, to stop a hack might also be a solution as well.
Sure.
Yeah, actually, we have a solution for this problem. The problem we currently have is that they're using the traditional way to verify the user. The user will be verified on the Twitter's server. That give hackers a chance to break into your account. But with our new design, with our MB domain, we also can use MB domain as a logged-in global ID, as I said before. Use the domain name as your account name, and then we can use the public key that's associated with the domain name to verify the user, which means the user will be verified by his public key and the private key within the user's wallet. That be super secure, then verified on the company's server.
Sure.
So the first step is to stop the hack of your account. That's the first step. Then we can verify the data and other doing other security checks. But the user verification I think that's something that we could create some using blockchain, with Bitcoin technology to innovate and create something different.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I would encourage anybody listening to this, look into how certificates are issued. The domain authorities and security certificate issuance is crazy. It's like something out of the Middle Ages. It's like a system that felt like it was established in the 1600s and for some reason is part of the internet. So,
well, and like, to maybe expand on my point, imagine if Elon Musk had a way, well, he can't get into his Twitter account, but he has some other mechanism by spending UTXO or something to lock out his account completely from anybody else, right?
Sure. Yeah, dead man's Twitch. Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of tools there that aren't being utilized because, you know, it's on Twitter's server instead of the open public blockchain.